بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
So now the next thing we'll try to understand about the network objects. Objects are basically referring to, like in our case, like we discussed, the firewall is more like your security guard. So this is our firewall, and then we define the rules. Basically, the rules to allow or deny the traffic. At the same time, we also discuss the zones, which defines the directions from where and to go, where to go, from where to come, those kind of things. Now, the other thing is, once you provide the rules, it's also important that you need to tell those objects. Like if it is a security guard, let's say generally you say the rule if the user is the name is user A, and let's say this is specific car or the car number, then you have to open the door, something like that. Now, similar way here also, when the traffic comes, the traffic will be coming from specific source, trying to go to specific destination, or trying to access a specific port number or a specific service it will try to access. Or sometimes it will be coming for specific users. So now it's important that how you're going to write the rules. So these are added in the form of objects. So what we are going to do is, in the case of firewalls, we use objects. Now, instead of writing down the each and every IP, like let's say if I want to write uh, the traffic coming from 10.1.0.0, that is my source. And if the traffic is destined to 100.2.1.0, which is my internet routes. So every time writing the IP address is going to be very difficult. And sometimes we just wanted to make it easier in terms of writing the rules. So what I'll do is I'll say LAN 10.1, and then I'll say this is public network, public server 1, something like that. So when I give some meaningful names, it makes easier for us to identify, and I can use these rules in the future anytime when I implement the NAT or whenever I implement the access policies or VPN or any kind of configurations we are doing. You can always use these objects. So there are different objects we can go ahead and create. Like one of the objects we can create based on the network. We call it as network objects. Now, the network objects are basically matching the source and the destination, where we define a specific network or specific host as well. If you want to be individual host, we can also match individual IPs or individual subnets, range. They all come under the same category. Subnets or individual networks, they all come under the same category. Now, the second kind of objects, we can also create something called port objects. Now, in the case of port objects, what we can do is, now the port objects basically refers to a specific TCP or the UDP ports. Like, let's say you want to define the HTTP service and HTTPS services. So we generally say port number 80 or port number 443 or port numbers SSH you want to allow port number 22, or DNS you want to allow UDP port number 53, like that. Now, every time defining the specific port numbers will be a challenging. So what I'll do is I'll create the objects, and anytime I want to use them in the policies, I can just use them based on that. So that is the second kind of objects we can create, the port object. The third one, we also have an application-based objects. Now, the application-based objects are kind of a predefined, defined applications. Like, for example, you have a Facebook application, the social media applications, or any kind of Gmail applications, the mail servers, or any kind of BitTorrent applications you want to block, or any kind of SAP applications. So instead of defining individual applications, you can just create an object and keep it in one object. You can also create object groups. So object groups are basically like you can combine multiple objects in one single group, and you can use them in the deep packet inspection. So anytime you want to identify or do any inspections, identify any specific ports, you can always use these options. Now, even there are some common other kind of objects we can create, like URL based objects as well. Like you can match specific URL categories like social media websites or any kind of networking website or gaming websites. You want to group them in one category, you can also do that. Now, mostly these URL objects, most of the firewalls have these predefined groups or the predefined categories, so we don't need to create them manually, but you do have existing those objects. Now, what is the benefit we get? The main thing here is we can always use these objects, we can always reuse them. That's the first thing. You just create once and you can use it many times in any other rules. And the second thing is the consistency. So this will ensure that you are using the same definition or same object everywhere, wherever you are using. So you don't need to repeat. You just make sure that it is consistent across all the policies. And also it makes easy for you to read, readability. Basically, like policies will be very much clear when you specifically see the source. If when you see the source is LAN 10 network, 10.1 network, when you see the name, it makes easy for it to identify, okay, this is what the name. So when you give some meaningful names, it becomes much easier to read them and understand and use them. Now also it will also maintain the another benefit is you can easily maintain them. Like let's say in the future you want to change the IP changes. In the future you change this 10.1 subnet to 10.2 subnet, or maybe you change to 192.168 subnet. Now, in the future, anytime the subnet changes, you don't need to change the entire rules because we use them in the NAT, we use them in the policies. So we can use the same name, just change the internal IPs. That is going to make it easier. So whenever the IP changes or any network changes happens, you just need to update the object, the internal addressing scheme, not a single rule. You don't need to go to the NAT rule or the access policy rules to make those changes again and again.